anybody try to talk me out of it? A lot of people have. And I needed that, you know, that side of the coin to make a good picture of what my decision was going to be. But once I made the decision, everyone supported it because they understood from my point of view. Out of 100%, I would say 95% supported me. Another 5%, you know, wanted to see me play. And it wasn't of selfishness. They just felt I had a gift that would be kind of missed. And that's the highest compliment that I can take in that circumstance. But I had to make a decision for myself in that circumstance and for what I want to achieve and what I had already achieved. No, Charles changes his number every week. And I did see him last night on television, and we've always talked about retiring at the same time. But I think it's a little different scenario between Charles and myself, being that I've achieved a lot in a lot of my goals, and I think he still has things that he wants to achieve. Sadly, that I couldn't hang around till he do those things because I was standing in his way. Now that I'm out the game, I hope he does, as well as Patrick, because he's a good friend, and other players. But I wish that we could have left the game at the same time, but it just wasn't the same focus and the same goals left for both of us.
How are you going to feel about maybe watching the Phoenix play your Bulls?
I'm going for the Bulls all the way. You know, I mean, Charles, I love him as a friend, but I love the Chicago Bulls as a family because that's where I was bred and that's where we achieved a lot, and I live in Chicago. So I want the Chicago Bulls to continue on. Excuse me? Well, I was pretty much decided at that particular time, but I think what he made me realize was how short life is. And that was an era that I had to look at. You know, how quickly something could end so quickly and so innocently. Naturally, I was saddened by it, and it took me a while to deal with it. But I'm an optimistic person. I took something positively from it. And yeah, he had some decision in making me realize how valuable life is, and then that in turn made me make my decision even simpler. But I was leaning and very much in that direction way before he passed.
Mike, do you believe you'll...
Excuse me? No. If so, I'd still be playing. I looked at basketball. I even talked to Phil. And I asked Phil, quite frankly, is it anything for me to prove as a basketball player? And he thought for a second, and that's all I needed. Because if it was, he would have told me real quickly. And that's the way I left it, you know, basically. It wasn't anything for me to prove as a player.
Michael retired completes long within a year. The Green might stall. What's your feeling of the season?
We're still planning to open the season on November 5th. And we're sure it's going to be a great season.
We're going to take about 5 more minutes of questions for Michael. The other participants on the dais will be available, so if you want to get 5 more with Michael.
When you learned serious impressions of leading the game with the team, not many professional athletes have ever done.
That's how I wanted to be remembered, is that, you know, I conquered a lot. What was very, very intriguing and very important was that when I got to the pinnacle of my career, I achieved practically everything I could from an individual standpoint and from a team standpoint. And it really made it easy to walk away while you was on top. And yeah, very few people do that. I was just happy that I was in a predicament to do that.
Was Jim Brown at all example on that? He voted for you was different.
Well, you know, I mean, you're talking to a guy who was maybe 6 or 5 years old when Jim Brown decided that. I've heard Jim Brown was one of those athletes who did that, but that didn't have anything to do with my decision, and that's not a knock on Jim Brown. That's, you know, I had to deal with what I'm faced with and deal with it what's in a way that I feel best suits me.
Michael, do you envision you might wind up missing the cheers, the accolades? I mean, a lot of athletes sometimes, and you've had so many of them over the years, did you envision you might miss that?
No, I think it's been real good, and I've always been very fond of the respect that I've received from the home fans as well as some of the away fans. But I'd say when I walk away from the game, I won't miss the cheers because it was there. It was there. I can remember those things, but I don't need it to live. I don't need it to survive. And that's very important for me.